let's take a look at how to fill out a work order, at least at the very beginning part of it. There will be more of these later on. And you should know that I'm just going to do an example out of my head, and you will need to go back and get actual real numbers out of the out of your prior work. That's what your prior work is there for. So you'll go back and reference the actual drawings and all the work that you've done so far. But let's take a look at one of these and see how it goes. So I'm going to go ahead and do this for the block housing. And I don't remember what the rest of it was or what the product number was, but I'm just going to call this A12345. And I'm going to leave the product code blank. Okay, and the revision of this was revision A, and that rev date, I think I did that in September, so I'll say 9/16/21. And who had the approval on that? It was me. Okay, so when am I entering this? I'm going to put this as 3/14/21. And when do I need these by? I don't know. I'm going to put a week from now in here. So check out what you can do here. When you go like that, you can go, oh, I need it in a week. I'm going to have it on that date. There we go. And this, of course, is going to be left blank because it's not there yet. Now, how many are required? I need 10. And so I'm going to put 10 on the work order. And you can see this format isn't that great. So I'm going to go ahead and format it over to this other side. And so I don't know how many are complete or rejected or anything. Somebody's got to make those. And who's my shop lead for this? I'm going to put Gary Aguilar. Yeah, I don't care who you put down there. Gary Aguilar is going to be our shop lead. So that's all you can fill out now. This all gets filled out when it's done. This gets filled out as it's going through the system and starting. So for my block housing, I could go back and look at all the things I need to do, but I know that there's going to be some milling and stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to pull parts, okay? Or sometimes it's called pull stock. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so that you guys can see it a little easier. But here's my block housing product code, dates, all this kind of stuff. And I'll pull my stock. Somehow I know that this is getting made from something, right? It's getting made from a piece of bar. I've got to go get that. So that's going to be from stores. And I like these to be kind of filled in like that. I'm gonna copy those down. I just think it looks a little bit better. You can reformat this. So pull stock. Now I have to tell them what to get. Pull rectangular brass bar stock 2x3 inch, and I can come down here if I need some more. Okay, but that's what I'm looking for. Okay, now I don't know how long it takes to make each one of those. You're actually going to have to calculate that from your milling plan, and you're going to have to figure that out. But we're going to go over that at another time. At another time. Okay. Now, where would you find this list of things to do? You're going to have some standard operations. So I'll, if it's not on here, I'm going to show you how to put it on here. But I would go over to these and get standard operations and figure out how long it takes and all that kind of stuff. And there would be a standard operation for draw stock. Okay, so when I come back over here, I've got to go find on another list. Now, I'm going to show you in a little while how to make this a little bit better, but if I don't have it on here, I have to add it in here. So let's say pull stock, and I've got that just always assigned as 5 minutes. Okay, well, if that's 5 minutes, these are usually done in hours. Okay, and I don't multiply this times the number of parts. I don't multiply. So I'm going to say that equals 5 divided by 60 because I want it in hours, labor hours, 0.0833 hours. There we go. Okay, once I've done that, I've got to do something. I probably have to saw it somehow and get it into the shape of a block to get it to the right thickness. So, because it's just a long bar and I have to have 1.75. So this is going to be a saw operation, and that's going to just be in the shop. And I have to tell it what to do. Saw to 1.75 inch thick. And so I need a standard operation for that. Saw. Okay. And that's going to depend on how thick something is. So that's usually something like 0.5 minutes per inch. Okay, so it's going to take me half a minute for each half inch I have to saw through. Okay, well, this is going to be 2 inches thick. Let me put that in there, 2 inches thick. So that's going to equal 0.5 times 2. So this is thinking things through. Thinking. Okay, you actually have to noodle through how you're going to make this thing. And each step, down to every single step, I have to go get the material. Okay, it's a big long bar. Can I put that on my mill? No. I need 1.75 inches of it. So let me get that. I'm going to saw it. Okay, and you can ask me, and I'll go over these things with you. So you're going to saw it to 1.75 inches thick, and you're going to lay it down, and then you're going to do something to it. Then you're going to do your milling ops. That will also be done in the shop. And this is usually mill per drawing or CNC file. I don't know how long that's going to take. You're going to have to figure that out. But look, when I did mine, it was about 20 minutes. So I could probably just put down 0.333 for right now. Okay, I think I could get it done faster, but you're going to have to figure that out. And here's how you're going to do it. The mill cut, it's 3.54 inches per minute. So you can go, okay, I'm going to go this far, then 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 this far, this far. Then I'm going to go over here. So you can count up how many inches you go and figure it out in hours. Okay, but I think mine was about 0.33, so I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to ask to see your calculations. Once it's done with the mill, you have to clean it. It's also done in the shop. You have to inspect it. So based on my little thing here, you can go through all those steps, and those steps will be on this standard thing. Here's your mill, tool chain. Here's clean part right here. Here's inspect part. Okay, so it's going to take about 1/4 of a minute per square foot. So that's going to take not very long to clean it, right? You just throw it in a tub or this or that. Takes about 15, 20 seconds. Uh, According to this. Now, we'll go back through and talk about each of these. That's pretty fast. If you've ever washed dishes, 15 seconds to wash a dish isn't too bad, but they're clean compared to some of these things. So we'll talk about what these things actually are. All right. But you're going to pull it from here. So right now I better go by this 0.25 minutes per square foot. And so I have to figure out how many square foot that thing is. Okay. Probably not even quite 1 square foot. It's probably about 0.5. So I'm going to say equals 0.25 divided by 60. It's going to still be a small number. Not very many hours to do that. Not very many hours. Some places just have a standard number they put on there. Clean. Oh, that was in for that. This one is probably close to the same thing to do your inspection. And then you might have to go return it to stock. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. And if it doesn't work, you can always, people always do stuff like that. So that goes back to stores. Probably takes about the same amount of time. I can just say it equals whatever's up there. So now I've got, now that's for each one except for this one and this one. So we're not going to worry about that. But if you get to doing the part, which you will, where you figure these things out, how long it's going to take you, you have to know that that is only done once. This is done for each part, for each part, for each part, for each part, and this is done once. So there's a little bit of knowing, right? So that's how we do most of the filling out. You can't fill out this part because we haven't run it yet, but you can say if there's inspection requirements. No, you don't need to do that. And usually you don't do something as simple as saw, but the milling is, yeah, there's an inspection right here. But the inspection is being called out after the mill. Okay, so if the milling operation needs inspection during it, you would put yes. And if this is a secondary inspection, I could put yes, but no. And then over here, you're going to have to pull up the right drawings for these. Okay, so the reference drawings where it says how to clean, remember that on the piece part drawing, it said how to clean it, said how to inspect it. So the information for these is on the main drawing. You don't need a drawing to pull from stock unless there's a map of the facility. You don't need a drawing for the saw because you're just telling it what to do. You do need a drawing for the mill, the clean, the inspect. Okay, so there we go. That's a little bit more about how to fill out a work order.